one of making a Day of the Dead altar. Now, I'm Australian, yes, half Indonesian actually. Let me go out back into the light. Australian, g'day mate, but I'm half Indonesian. My alter ego is Dora, my nickname. I used to live in Mexico. So in the Mexican traditions, the Day of the Dead, which now let me say it in Espanol. Now, don't pick on me, guys. I'm not very good with languages. I might have lived there for a little bit, but I didn't really learn the language very well. I did get a Mexican boyfriend. That didn't help. So, Días de los Muertos. Day of the Dead. Did I get it right? Días de los Muertos. Day of the Dead. And what I am going to try to build, part one, is my offender, which is an altar. Now, do you know what the Day of the Dead altar is? Well, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to tell you while we work through how we're going to build it. Now, this is the space I'm working with. This is like dining room, and then we have a lounge room. Now, we are in construction phase, so it's not looking pretty, guys. So let's not look at walls. You can even see that we have pretty insulation. But we're not that surface value, guys. We need to build an altar. Now, this is what I have normally set up. My father, my late father, he died 8 years ago. Diego's father, he died 2 years ago now. His mother, Sue. This is my friend Lynn. Beautiful friend Lynn. My friend Esther, that I do a lot of walking with purpose for. Beautiful photo of her. My friend June. Now, interestingly enough, these two friends I met in Mexico. So Mexico has a very strong pull for me. As I said, I lived there before. I lived there when I was 25, which was 25 years ago. And that's how I met this beautiful lady, June. She's a Scottish lady who was married to a Mexican guy. And then I came back to have another bite at the pie back when I was about 38. That was 12 years ago. And I made friends with this lovely lady, Lynn. I met her at a swing bar. So just swing as in a swing bar, not a swingers bar, okay, just to be clear. So yeah, Mexico has a very strong pull for me because I lived there quite a few times in my life. But the reason why I build and follow this tradition is because my late father, my daddy, my father, I miss him so much. Well, I guess after he died, the tradition became a little bit more clearer to me why I would basically celebrate it. Now, we have a box here. I have a box. This is my Day of the Dead box. What's in the box? Well, different things I use for the altar. So we're going to build an altar in the next couple of days. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to do it. Sometimes I do it there. Sometimes I do it here. I'm open to suggestions. But end of the day, because of the room, this working area I have, I'm probably just going to use this. Like, the buffet is a really good kind of place to put it. Hello, how you going? I can't really see your name. Carmel. Hello, Carmel. How you going? Have you heard of the Day of the Dead before? So, these are plates I use for, and you'll see later on. I just found that. I thought that might be a really good way to display something. We have tablecloths. We have a we have a Mexican blanket. So, you know, Mexican altars are colourful, right? And you'll see by when we go through this box, like, okay, got colourful flowers. We have a Day of the Dead stubby cooler. Aha! We have the Day of the Dead, like a wreath. Whoops. So you've seen the candy skulls before? They're very, very popular. They are from the Day of the Dead. It coincides with Halloween, because Halloween's this Friday night. The 31st of October is Halloween. But Halloween has nothing to do with the Mexican tradition of the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is celebrated on the 1st of November for the children and the 2nd of November for the adults. And what I mean by celebrate means we celebrate the dead. So the tradition is that you set the altar up a couple of days before the Day of the Dead. So that's what we're doing right now. We're getting it ready. And then on the 1st is the day that you attract back the children. I don't have any children that I've lost, so I'm not attracting back children. But on the 2nd, obviously like the idea is that I attract back my father's spirit. And not to sound all, you know, hoo-hoo, haha. I have honestly felt my dad's presence when I've done this. So it's a really beautiful way to honour my father and my friends that have passed away, and to remember them, because, like, you know, even though they're not with us anymore, it's a really good time to remember them in a happy, joyful way. So yeah, so I really like this tradition because it brings happiness to a rather sad kind of thing. Like in Western culture, or especially in Australian culture, death is basically you die and you get buried in a cemetery, or you're cremated, right? That's pretty much the end of it, right? You know, you have a funeral and, you know, you have a wake. And then, you know, every year is a remembrance of that, you know, that the years that they passed. So for my dad, the 13th of September is a date that is etched into my heart, because that's the morning that we woke up and my dad was, you know, had passed away in this house, actually, in this house. So his spirit is very much here in this house because this is where he lived. I bought the family home off him before he passed away, not thinking that he would pass away, but anyway, here we are. So this is why I do the tradition. Let me see what else is in this box, guys. So this is going to be part 1. I'll do another one tomorrow night and, you know, continue till we get it ready for, basically, I think on Thursday night I'll have it ready, right? So I'll probably be like 4 installments of this, okay? There's no rush. So what else have we got in here? We have a photo frame. We have lights. We have frames. And in here I have more pictures. Unfortunately, I have an empty frame. Have I lost anyone this year? I have actually lost someone. A friend of mine, Jen, a primary school friend. Actually, she was my best friend growing up. So little Dora, as a 6-7-year-old, had a friend called Jenny. And I won't get into that story right now, but I do need to print a picture, unfortunately. But I have other pictures of other people in here that I have passed on. And through the week, I'll talk a little bit more about them. Work friends. That's my auntie in Indonesia. It's my grandma. My grandfather in Indonesia. Oh, my uncle and auntie. Love them. My beautiful friend Amanda. Oh, and my friend Craig. And you know what? It's a really beautiful time to also, you put beautiful knickknacks around their pictures to call them back. So for example, this guy I worked with, and we had a common interest of wine. He got me, I blame him on my wine obsession. He was a very big wine connoisseur, and so yeah, I got into wine drinking with him. Obviously not at work. That'd be bad, wouldn't it? But you know, sometimes there was a bit of wine drinking at work, sometimes. But we won't tell the boss that. So I would put a bottle of wine, his favourite wine, next to him. So yeah. Now, what else have I got in here? Okay, so this bottle of tequila, 180. It's quite a popular bottle of tequila. This lady, June, actually gave me that bottle. So I put it next to her on the altar. This is something that I put next to my uncle, because this is from, and I put it next to my dad too. This is a sleeper pin from the railway tracks where my mum and my father and my uncle and my grandfather and the family used to live back in Coonabarabran. So, yeah. So, again, you kind of get the idea that there's things you put around the altar that bring people back. Lights. Now, we're going to put these back in here at the moment because we don't need these right this minute. Because first of all, we need to figure out how we're going to build the altar. So that's the biggest thing, right? So I think we've decided that we're going to use this as the altar. So the altar, if you think about it, okay, let me show you something, guys. It's one to put things on. Okay, this is the Day of the Dead altar that I built last year. I did a video. So let me just show you what it looks like in the end. Oh, here we go. Grand reveal. I'll show you what it's going to look like. Oops. Press play. That is what it's going to look like. So you see the photos and the candles. Come here. Come here, Papa. So that is what we're going to try to, well, it's not try, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. That is what we're trying to do. So the plants can be part of it. If you think about Mexican colours, right? Red, orange, like bright colours. If you look at the Mexican flag, well, which is the Mexican blanket, not the Mexican flag, but the Mexican blanket, it's got greens and yellows and orange and reds. So technically, we could leave some greenage in. I've never done that before, but we could. Now, I think Buddha probably would not be a good idea. So we might move Buddha. Some things we just have to, can't. Here we go. Let's put it over here. Put it over here. So, first of all, let's do a bit of a clear up. Let's take away the photos, first of all, because the moment we're just going to try to organise how we're going to do this. Now, that's a picture that my father painted or drew. So that's why I have it next to my dad's photos. Okay, let's move this over here. So you guys are getting to watch this from basically the ground floor, like how I set it up. And yeah, it might be a bit boring, but someone might actually enjoy how this works. Okay, we don't need some of this stuff. Now, I do have my tripod. Maybe I should set the tripod up so I don't actually have to hold the phone, because that's kind of annoying holding the phone, right? Okay, let's do that. Let's be like a YouTube professional, because I'm so professional, right? All right, let's see if we can work this. Okay. Let's see how this works. All right, that worked. All right, that kind of worked. All right. How about I set you up? Set you up on the chair here. There you go. Perfect. Stay there. Please go, it doesn't matter either way. Okay, there's some things that we don't need here, like happiness cards. We don't need those at the moment. obviously I have lots of candles, so you need a lot of candles, right? So, okay, that's empty. I do have to find my, I had a whole box of candles. I might have to go look for that next. But, oh, this is important. This puts out the candles. Very important because you don't want to burn the place down. Sometimes there's so much heat in all these candles that I have that can be dangerous, so you've got to be really careful. I actually really like the idea of having the greenage this year. I think it's going to be actually add to the whole thing. That's why I showed you what it looked like last year, so then you can kind of see what I'm building this year. Okay, we need to get rid of butter. I like Buddhas a lot. So I have some little knickknacks here. These are attached to my father. My dad used to drive a combi van, so I have combi van stuff. Okay. Ah, a vase. Didn't even, oh, forgot I even had this. This wine here, and what is it? It's 1981 Grand Final Reunion. This is very important. This is next to my father-in-law, Diego's father, because he used to play professional football, and that was one of their kind of gifts when they kind of reunited back in 1981. So it's very special, so we can't break that, guys. That will go with on the altar. All right. This is also very special. This was a 30th anniversary clock for Diego's mum and dad. Obviously now they're both not here. Hey Carol, how you going? So Carol, I'm building a Day of the Dead altar. Are you familiar with the Day of the Dead altar? So I'll say it in Espanol. Días de los Muertos. I'm building my own offender. Have you ever done that before? Do you... Okay, I can't see that very well. Let me see what it says here. Do you... Okay. I think I need my glasses, guys. I'm feeling a bit blind this afternoon, tonight. The light is not that great in this corner. I'm going to be honest, it's not that great. So let me just put my smart glasses on so I can see the actual comment. Okay, oh, I can see you now, Carol. Good morning, Dora. Good morning. Buenos dias, mi amiga, Carol. Do kids go trick-or-treating in Australia? They do, actually. They do. So this Friday night is the 31st, which will be trick-or-treat. And I'm going out trick-or-treating, actually. We're going to a market that has like a Halloween kind of market. But the Day of the Dead actually has nothing to do with actually Halloween. It just coincides around the same time. So I used to live in Mexico. I don't know if you knew that, Carol. And so, yeah, I celebrate the tradition because I lost my father 8 years ago. And it's just a beautiful tradition to celebrate and remember the dead and call them back into your life. And look, I know some people will find this a little bit, not right because they're Christian or whatever they might be. But as I said, I celebrate this and it helps me deal with the death of my father and some of the friends I've lost in the last couple of years. So we are building the offender. We probably need to take the postcards away because we don't need the postcards. Actually, guys, it's a postcard that my friend Jordan from YouTube World sent me. Okay, so we'll just move those for now. Now, what do we got up here? We need to take, okay, it's a photo of myself, my mum, my sister and my niece. So obviously everyone's alive in that photo, so we don't need to put that on the altar. We just need to find some room because, yeah, we're just moving everything around. I just don't know where to put everything at the moment. So anyway, just going to flip that around. Just going to keep on working here. Okay. Take that away, we don't need that. Now, I'm only going to be working on a little bit today, and then tomorrow I'll do some more. Oh, it's really hot here tonight, guys. In southeast Queensland, got up to about 38 degrees today, so it's really, really hot. Okay, this is what we're working with. So, just want to show you what I have in here. Now this is going to go up here. So let me just start with, I've got some candy skulls, which is about celebrating the Day of the Dead. It's not really about Halloween, but a lot of people paint their faces like this for Halloween, but it has nothing to do with Halloween. It's about the Day of the Dead. Now these are really, really important. I need sticky tape now, because what I'm going to use they're called papels. I think I'm going to put the right thing, papels. Now I have got them stuck together, so that could be another thing. Let me have a look. Let me just get that there. Oops. Actually, let me go higher with the tripod, so it's a little bit higher. God, it must be early for you, Carol, if you're still there. You must have just woken up early or something. Oh. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is separate these, and then I'll show you what I mean. Oops. Oh, okay. It's very messy. Okay. You'll get the idea in a second. I made these. You can buy these in Mexico. These are to celebrate, they do them for parties. I can't remember the real name for these in Espanol. I should remember them tomorrow. But the idea is, and I made these guys, you hang them and for a party, so it's like a fiesta, right? But they're also, you can put them around the Day of the Dead. So if you have a look here, this is what I'm going to do. Hold on. No. Okay. I need to put these legs up higher. All right. Bear with me while I adjust the tripod, because I'm such a professional now. All right. All right. Now let's have you standing up. There we go. Okay. All right. So what we're trying to do is we will stick these guys up here. See across here like this? But we need sticky tape for that. Now, I wonder where I have some sticky tape. I'll be back. So I got some sticky tape. Hello. Hey, Jim. How you going? Have you ever heard of, or do you celebrate the Day of the Dead? Because that's what I'm doing at the moment. I am building an altar, part 1. So, I can never remember the name of this in Espanol. So I used to live in Mexico, guys, so that's why I celebrate the tradition. And probably the reason why I celebrate it more now is because I lost my father 8 years ago. So it's a way for me to, instead of being sad about death, is celebrate my dad's death. I mean, that sounds really, really weird. I know that. Hello again, Dora. Hey, yes. So anyway, these are, you see these hanging in a lot of Mexican parties and fiestas. So I'm going to put that on my altar. So I've got a few of them. So let's just start somewhere. I don't know. So I made these. It's quite fun making them actually. It's hard work though. But just got to get it right. You don't want them hanging too low because you've got like candles. So let's go there. All right, let's do that. This is not easy to do, guys. It's by yourself. I'm kind of always trying to get it right. So, how are we going to do this? Working about there. Alright. So let's go like that. So I'm doing a part 1 today, and then tomorrow I'll do a little bit more of building the altar. And then the Day of the Dead is celebrated on the 1st of November for children, bringing back the spirit of children. And then on the 2nd of November is for the adults. Okay. Kelly, my gosh, what time is it for you guys in America at the moment? I guess on the East Coast. I don't know. So guys, I am building a fender for the Day of the Dead. So in Espanol it is Días de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And I'm building an altar. In Espanol I'm building a fender. A fender is basically an altar to honor the people that have passed away. So at the start of my live, I showed you a whole lot of photos of people that have passed away that I will put on the altar with candles and some of their knickknacks to bring them back. It's a beautiful tradition, and through the week, when I do this through the live, I will tell you a little bit more about the tradition. But right now, I'm really just trying to get it together to start putting it together a little bit. So I'm putting up these paper. I made these, guys. So let's go. That's all right. All right, so I need more hands. What do I do with this sticky tape? Oh, sugars. Oops, I think I'm probably supposed to spread them out a little bit more because I've only got one more left here. Actually, you know what? We could make another one this year. We could make another one. That would make an interesting live to show you how to make them. Okay, so I'd love to know if you guys celebrate the Day of the Dead. So Kelly, do you celebrate the Day of the Dead, or do you know about the tradition? I think a lot of people would know because Mexico is so close to you guys. Another tradition in the Day of the Dead is they have a special sweet bread pan. They call it in Espanol. Bread is pan, but it's a special Day of the Dead bread. So Dias de los Muertos pan, and there's a special way of making it. And I'm so honoured that one of my girlfriends, who's actually Mexican from Cancun, who lives not far away from me, we've organised a fun date on Friday afternoon, and we're going to make the Mexican bread for the Day of the Dead, so that we have the bread to put on the altar. You don't have to have the bread, but the sweet smell of the bread is supposed to also attract people back. And there's flowers, there's colours, there's a whole tradition about it. So yeah, so you'll hear a bit more about that. So as you can see, I probably should have went a bit higher. So there is a nail here, because this is what I have, a Day of the Dead wreath. Okay, I need to get a hammer and hammer that in a bit better. Okay. So I might actually start trying to organise the bottom layer, because that's really important. Because obviously I have lots of photos of people, unfortunately, that have passed away, and I want to put candles, and it's good to have different levels, right? That's the whole idea of an altar, to have different levels. So you guys know that I'm a little bit extra, so this is going to look quite big and elaborate. So these bar chairs, I'm going to flip around and use them as part of the altar. So this is where these Mexican blankets and like the tablecloths come in handy to help build the levels. So I'm going to put this one up on here, but on a lower level I'm going to use the Mexican blanket. Can't get much more Mexican than that, right? Oh, I've got two. I've got two Mexican blankets. Right, I'm going to use this one. So, Mexican blankets are also very colourful, right? So, let me move you here. down like that. So, I might actually just... Can I just add that I really, really enjoy making my Mexican altar? It's one of my favourite things to do. It really is. I mean, it's amazing that from death, there's a favourite thing to do, right? I mean, I think it's really helps with grief. I think that. Okay. So let's put this other tablecloth on. We might just go like, oops, sorry. Sorry, tripod. Didn't mean to knock you over. How to do this? So this year I've done something different where I've left the plants. So yeah, I want to incorporate the plants this year, the indoor plants, as part of it. Why not, eh? This is my interpretation, right? It's not... And like anything goes, right? You can do whatever you want, right? I need that nail. All right. Oops. Oops. Should be careful here. Oops, oops, oops. These are really pretty indoor plants that I've grown. Well, I haven't exactly grown, but I've made cuttings, and they've stayed alive, which is unheard of for me, right? And I put them around my Statue of Liberty. Not Statue of Liberty, oh my gosh, Eiffel Tower. So look, the Eiffel Tower probably... Actually, just thought of something. I was going to say, the Eiffel Tower doesn't really belong on my altar because, well, I've got no one that's French that passed away. But my surname is actually French. But, you know, you need things to build the altar up, right? I've just had an idea. So, these are some of the photos of people that have passed away. Normally I put them on the altar, like they sit down like that, right? Oh, I can't even see that. Yeah, they sit down like that, right? And then I put stuff around them, like, and candles. But I could actually, this could be something different this year. There's a little hook on here. I could actually hook them, and some of them could be hooked onto the Eiffel Tower, like that kind of thing. I really like that idea. But where we're going to put it, that's the other thing, right? Let's start with that, because we want to start... Okay, let's unhook these guys, because we don't want them to hurt. Right. All right. So, let me just turn this around. Oh, hold on, let me just take you out. There you go. Whoop. So, it doesn't have to be symmetrical, right? This is my interpretation, right? It can be any way you want it. So, what if okay, I do like to have things kind of centered though. I'm a little bit like that. Okay, that plant can go over here. So Mexicans love green, right? The Mexican flag what is the Mexican flag? Red, white. Oh my gosh, what is the Mexican colour? The red, white, and crap, I should know this. Red, white, and yellow? Oh my gosh, red, white, and green. Oh my God, red, white, and green. That's the Mexican colours there. That's why they're literally there. Oh my gosh. Mental breakdown. There we go. Okay, so let's just separate these flowers. So anyway, Mexico green. So obviously I could leave the green plants on here because, a bit of greenage always adds to the affair, I think. So let's just put you nicely there. So what if I put that up here? Right. I wonder if I could go up there maybe. That's not going to sit up there, is it? No, that's not going to sit up there. If I could sit it there, right, and then you could have, I have to tie them up properly. Oh, here, hold on. You can do this like this, right? It's not a bad idea, guys. Hey, Lala, how you going? You're up early too, jeez. So, guys, I'm actually building a Mexican offender, an altar to honour the Day of the Dead. Some of my family members and my friends, my dear friends, that I've lost. And I'm just starting it. I'm going to do part 1, part 2, part 3. But it's just another way of building the altar up, right? So anyway, let's just step back. And it's starting to take shape. There's still many things to put on the altar, many candles, but I think there's probably enough for me for today to plants rule. Exactly, Lala. But yeah, it is 8 o'clock here in Australia's time, 8 o'clock on Monday night. So I think I might stop here, guys, but I really think that this is the start of something. I'll quickly show you. That is my offender from last year. Let me just press play, if anyone's even watching. So you get a bit of a concept of how it looks. Yeah, no, hold on. So that is my Day of the Dead altar. I do have one more step, which took me to the bottle shop this afternoon. All of these people I shared a drink with, maybe a few drinks with. So I thought, just a drink that reminded me of them. So I'll turn the light on so you can kind of see a bit better. I bought a 6-pack of one of my dad's kind of beers that he used to drink. And tomorrow, since we're going to celebrate Day of the Dead with the family, and I'll pour him a drink tomorrow, but I'm going to take the drink out and put it on the altar. Tomorrow I'll open it. So that gives you a bit of a picture of the idea of, like, if you don't know what the Day of the Dead is basically on the 2nd of November. Day of the Dead has nothing to do with Halloween, guys. It just looks like it does because it's around the same time, right? Halloween is on Friday night. Day of the Dead for children is on Saturday, the November 1st, and then 2nd of November is Day of the Dead, which is going to be this Sunday. So I'll get the family together and we will celebrate the Day of the Dead and honour my father. And yeah, which is a kind of a nice way to remember the dead, right? Because death can be very sad, and yeah, grieving is not a nice thing, right? But anyway, tomorrow night I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to keep on building to the altar. So by the end of the week, it'll be finished. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.